Welcome back to Let's Play Kameo. Today we're taking on the Water Temple, and if you, like I did, thought the Forest Temple was in any way indicative of how temples in this game work, you're in for quite a surprise. So there's the third time we've seen Callus in person, and she's yet to say a word. She just hovers menacingly, which is not a very good way to characterize your villains, Rare. But moving on, we've got this massive room underwater, and it's got submarines, underwater mines, harpooners. There's a ship on the surface, and enemies don't play fair. They will happily shoot us from off screen, which results in a room where we can take a lot of damage. Actually, the damage isn't so much a problem. It's more the combo breaking. This area is a nightmare to get an A rank on. Just playing through it normally, it's just a little bit annoying. Submarine had 100 HP. Pointless unlockable there. But yeah, 100 HP on the submarine, and H-Torpedo does 5 damage. Thankfully, the harpooners are instantly killed by torpedoes. Moving on to this underwater hallway. Trying to regain a little bit of health. We did take quite a few hits in there. But in here, there's a couple of trolls that are very, very hard to see because they are green and wearing brown armor up against green and brown seaweed. There's already a murkiness filter over the whole area while we're underwater. But there's just 2 of them, so it's no big deal. Now we can move on to a much more traditional arena. At least that's certainly what it looks like. A lot of interesting scenery, cages hang from the ceiling. Let's see what we got in store for us. First fire troll fight. We saw one of these guys in the Dungeon of Eternal Life back in the Enchanted Kingdom, but this is the first time seeing them in the wild. It's going to start off by summoning a bunch of imps, which are very handily dealt with Deep Blue. People seem to hate Deep Blue, but I'm pretty fond of him myself. Whole army of imps. We're going to need to upgrade our guy if we're going to take on those guys.
Your warrior's abilities.
There we go. Fully upgraded. And actually, none of our upgrades are of any use against these guys. But they'll be good to have in the very near future. Just spray these guys down with a fire hose. Avoiding bombs would be nice, but they're handily dealt with either way. Kind of inconsistent with giving us brutal multipliers on these guys. Most of the time they do if we kill them with water, but sometimes they don't. See just carnage there. Having dealt with his minions, the fire troll himself comes after us. Not sure why he summons these bomb planes, though. Anyway, just douse him with water, of course. That'll leave him vulnerable to any physical attack. Pummelead is usually extremely good at single targets, though you gotta worry about Pummelead catching fire. Not a big concern if you use a combo on him. We know what to do with that. All of our problems are solved by Deep Blue in this temple. Now that we've raised the temple, we're going to be attacked by a bunch of enemies. Good old traditional trolls. And this is more that optional sort of combat that we saw in the Mount Rise area. All these guys are pretty much just for grinding up multipliers to get an A rank. But let's test out our new moves on them. We spray these guys with ink, which is actually crude oil. Then we can use ash to explode them. Get a nice slowdown effect when we do that. It's very cool. I like that a lot. Got these guys saturated in oil. And ash them again. Good way to build up frenzy and brutal bonuses. And here's our introduction to Doom Trolls. These are enemies that we can only see when we are in warrior focus mode. And they'll only appear when we have a carnage bonus over 10. There's a limited number of them in each combat area. And if we want an A rank, we're going to want to kill every single one. And we're already kind of screwed for an A rank, so we're not going to be getting every single one of them. In fact, that's the only one we're going to be getting in this area. You saw briefly, I sprayed the oil through a patch of already burning oil, which turned the inkjet into a flamethrower. Yet another reason why Deep Blue is pretty damn cool. Now that we've seen some of Deep Blue's upgrades, we'll just burn these guys. Take care of them quickly and efficiently, which is not what we're doing right now with Major Ruin. An upgraded Major Ruin would be extremely efficient at dealing with these guys. He benefits more than almost any other elemental warrior from being fully upgraded, but we haven't upgraded him yet. And fell off the arena. Probably should have just taken that as an opportunity to get out of the area, but we're so close to finishing off everybody. Wanted to just take care of it, finish what we started. Still haven't had enough of that oil spill move, but too slow, didn't get the explosion. And yeah, my playing's gone a little awry, taking a few hits. Our carnage multiplier is still over 25 though, so doing pretty damn good. There we go, that's the last of them. So now we can head back into that big open area from the beginning. Back through that formerly treacherous hallway. Trolls did not respawn in there, thankfully. Now we got a attack ship on the surface. No fish-shaped submarines this time. Almost got him with that mine. I don't think they explode, I think they just do massive damage. We're taking care of him pretty handily. Already at half health. We started a serpentine a little bit there, but probably better for him just to run. One more hit should do it. There we go. It's kind of satisfying to see those trolls drown, though. Almost makes it worth it. Now we can start climbing the tower that we rose out of the ground. This area is sort of the opposite of the water temple in Ocarina of Time. Instead of raising the water, we're actually raising the temple. Saved myself there. Close call. And we got more of those roll trolls from the very beginning of the game. The only place we can knock them off is this little area, but I always tend to fall off myself when I push them that way. We can also push them into the fountain in the middle. That'll send them to oblivion, but didn't have much luck doing that either. It's fine though, we get a brutal bonus every time we push them into the water. Could probably get him over the fence with a really good shot, but no luck there. And that guy, I'm pretty sure I did push him into the fountain. Completely accidentally. That's the only way I can imagine him being killed there. Seems the fire troll can summon non-imp monsters as well. Let's deal with these annoying archers. And after I killed that third one, I went on a ridiculous, vaudevillian, frustrating chase of the third archer, and I cut it out. It took over a minute. It was really hard to watch. So we'll move on to our next fire troll fight. Plenty more imps. And that pit of fiery coals in the center there. It's very threatening, but it doesn't actually hurt you if you walk on it. Even still, I avoid it like the plague. I don't usually get hit this often when I'm fighting fire trolls with Deep Blue. Still enjoy doing it. Not sure why I like fighting fire trolls so much. Or fire imps, rather. Now that I'm a guy who doesn't mind fire damage, I'm not quite as wary about walking on the hot coals, but I can't do any damage to the imps because they're made of fire. In fact, I heal them by shooting them that way. We got some plant trolls. These actually are a type of troll. I said earlier they weren't, but they are. Those bomb plants are indicative of the fire troll itself coming at us. Ah, he lucked out there. That bomb caught Pummweed on fire. And we knocked down one of the cages. It unleashed a bunch of water beetles. They can damage the fire troll, but I don't think they did there. I think the Kameo is what did it. Do a little more cleanup on these imps. We're waiting for the other fire troll to show himself. There he is. Second burst, same as the first. This time the water beetles did do quite a bit of damage to him. And at the last second he disappeared before we could finish him off. And there I show off that he is indeed completely invincible while he's engulfed in flames. He's only got 8 HP left, so yeah, using fire instantly sets his fire back on and heals him a little bit. No matter though, he's done for. That gives us access to another water wheel, which, as you can imagine, is going to raise the temple again. And once again, this is an arena where they're going to throw a bunch of optional trolls at us. There they are, whipping bombs at us. Let's just fight our way to the exit. And just wanted to make sure that was the same water wheel we already spun, so I wasn't missing anything. Back through this hallway where a bunch more enemies have spawned, as well as some friendlies. Quite a busy hallway now. But at this point I'd done more than enough archer chasing, so I just wanted to get the hell out of there. And getting sniped in the back from off screen. Classy move. Just barely make it up there with our jump. Coming out the back entrance. Back into the pool.
Get ready.
Two ships and 2 subs. We gotta land 80 torpedoes to finish this room off. So strap in. Now would probably be a good time to get all the mines onto the surface so that the ships would destroy themselves, but it's unlikely that they would end up hitting those mines. Just gotta keep blasting away. Deep Blue's torpedoes, they seem a little bit slower than you would want them to be. I find it hard to lead my shots with them. The ships are usually slow enough that we can get close enough and just blast the hell out of them though. Running out of spirit is kind of a problem in this section because I'm just firing so many torpedoes. Yeah, playing chicken was not going to work there. Thankfully they stop every couple of seconds and gives a chance to really do some damage. Now they got one ship down. Let's head for the subs. Subs can be hard to find in this area. They tend to swim away from us. But they too take their time. Take occasional rests. That's when we strike. Send out a lot of those homing torpedoes, and once they're out, they're really hard to dodge. There was a brief moment there where the 2 subs collided and did a lot of damage to one another, which was fortunate. What we needed to finish that one off. was able to shoot one torpedo out of the air with my torpedo. The other one got me. Let's do a very slow speed chase of this final submarine. And the submarines are even harder to lead your shots with because they can go up and down as well as left and right. Yeah, that was like 20 torpedoes and only one of them hit. But if we're persistent enough, get some good hits in, and I blew his tail off. Unfortunately, I did so much damage to the rest of him in doing so that he only had one more hit left. Yeah, it's kind of hard to accurately hit the tail. It's almost like trying to knock off a tail in Dark Souls. Made short work of the last ship, thankfully. They're going to throw a few more harpooners at us, but we've had more than enough of them. And 3 more in here. I would go for the treasure down at the bottom, but not worth it. Fought enough harpooners already. Just gotta make our way up this broken spiral staircase with no stairs. Yeah, the knockback from getting hit is pretty much perfectly timed to not allow a counterattack if we get hit again. So after the first hit, it's usually wise to back off, which is harder to do with Ash because he's kind of a slow character. Oh, we still made short work of them because they're very easy. Highly explosive due to the cannons on their back. Fine. Whole melee going on. Again, completely optional. We'll help out our elf brethren a little bit. There's the pathway that we climbed the first time. Roasting that guy for no reason. Just grab a little bit of health. Grab a little bit more health from these chests. Boxes, more accurately. Because I know what's coming up. The Chamber of Corrales.
Corrales is a powerful monster from the distant past, and Lanier's held in his watery grip. Keep your wits about you, and don't give up.
And here we have Corrales. Floating squid electric monster. Appropriate boss for this area, I would think. And obviously they're giving us bomb fruits because we gotta shoot them at them. After doing so, head underwater and go for those orbs because they have life meters. What you want to do is get each one down to 25, which takes 3 hits, and then hit them one last time. So then you should have time to destroy both of them. But you won't have time to get in 2 hits on that second one because you're not supposed to be able to hit the second one at all after the first one is destroyed. So that's the basic strategy. As you're about to see, this is actually a lot more difficult than old Maywood was. Much like the temple itself, this boss is not a joke. And because our target fruit got knocked out of the way there, we gotta shoot for a new one. Not sure why that one missed. But we took a ton of damage from those electricity beams. They're actually incredibly powerful. Thankfully, we were able to knock him into the water again, though. And I accidentally destroyed the first one before I did enough damage to the second, thereby allowing him one last chance to redeem himself. And here's the only way that we can restore health in this area. There's, I think, 8 boxes. Each of them has between 0 and 3 hearts in them. And once we use up all those, they don't respawn. So again, very limited health refill, unlike Old Maywood. Now that he's only got the 1 orb left, he's gonna use his beam quite a bit more often. Here it comes again, and the floor is covered in water, so he electrifies the floor, which deals further damage to us. It's very, very easy to die in here. Thankfully, though, we've got him on his last legs. We can finish him off pretty easily. And he's done for. Deflated him like a balloon. Knock that blimp down, we can talk to this blimp.
Oh, Kameo, I knew you'd save me. You have always been noble and courageous. Not like that cowardly sister of yours. I'm ashamed to call her a relation. And yet, I pity her. For I believe deep down inside she feels her actions are justified.
How could she possibly, in any way, think what she's doing is all right?
It was your mother's desire you never hear this. But I suppose now it's better you know. Thena only bore Solon one child, Callus. Though you are as much a daughter to her as any blood relation ever could be.
I don't understand what you're saying.
A miracle brought you to us, Kameo. Thena then adopted you as her own and raised you as such. Oh, your mother wanted your life to be perfect. And to shield you, she swore us all, including your sister, to secrecy. The attention Thena lavished on you bothered Callus, of course, but I think she always felt secure in the idea that when the time came,
That she, as Solon's rightful heir, would receive the transformation magic. I see, but I still don't understand. I never expected this power, and if I'd have known all this would happen, I'd have refused it.
no, your mother was right to pass the power on to you. Callus has proven by her betrayal that she is not worthy of such a great responsibility. I know you care for your sister still, as do I. But sadly, she is lost to us. And you must do everything necessary to stop her. The fate of the realm rests firmly in your hands. And as a sign of my faith in your abilities, I present to you Chilla.
Chilla.
I won't let you down. There are so many other questions I have.
I know, Angel, but now is not the time. I must recover, and you're needed elsewhere.
You're right, Aunt Lanier. Get some rest, and thanks for everything.
Another rescued family member, another ridiculous voice, and another restored warrior.
Kameo, can you hear me?
And another conversation with the Mystic.
Well, well, well. You're turning out to be quite the fighter after all.
As Hallis always says, where there's a warrior, there's a way.
That's the attitude. And you'll need it. I've had visions of Thorn building yet more weapons of war. Can't quite make out what exactly, but they're bound to wreak untold havoc.
I'll fly over that bridge when the time comes. First, you must find Yeros. I refuse to let a single elemental sprite fall into Callus's traitorous hands.
Yes, he is the last who needs saving.
Don't sound so excited, Mystic.
Ice everywhere. And wait. Images of Yeros shivering inside the frigid walls of the Snow Temple, domain of the infinitely cold-hearted Queen Thyra. You must make haste to the village of the Snowtop tribe, as they have information that will help you reach the temple. Be swift.
And so peace is restored to Mountain Falls. But now that we have Chilla, we can collect 2 last elemental fruits in this area. And they are hanging from trees in little pods up there.
Chilla,
Breathe through your
Just need his first-person shooter mode to get him down. There we go. There's one more further up the beach, and I'm going to get lost looking for it. Which is fine, because I'd like to talk about that bullshit Lanier just spewed. She said, Callus has proven that she's not worthy of such great responsibility through her betrayal, which is the kind of circular logic that really shows that they're grasping at straws to justify their actions here. I mean, they deprived her of her birthright to her spoiled, adopted sister, and yeah, if this were Game of Thrones, I would definitely be voting for Callus in this situation. But I guess I'm thinking way more about this storyline than the developers did. Too bad, really, because they kind of had something. I mean, they had basically the same thing that George R.R. Martin dragged out into 10 million pages worth of books by adding a bunch of shitty characters that irritate the characters they actually like for hundreds of pages before killing them. But anyway, there's the last pod. Let's snipe that down. Over there, Chilla. Nice work. And with that in hand, Mountain Falls is completely empty. We can move on to the next area. See you next time on Let's Play Kameo.